Good afternoon, adventurers. Okay, we are in the haunted ghostly mansion. Anyway, we're here at the collective, John's Dungeon Corner, on a Friday afternoon, and we are live. We're in Altamont Springs, Florida, where it's sunny, 70 plus degrees. Holy moly, it is sunny while the rest of the country, for all we know, is snowing somewhere, right? Right. So, with that being said, let me silence my phone because we don't want no interruptions. All right. We have some technical difficulties, so we're starting a little bit. Yes, I am a ghost today. It's a special spell. You guys have heard of the Unseen Servant? Well, watch this. This is going to be a really good show. So today, we are talking about mats and all those cool things that I talk about. As you can see, watch. As the hand comes through, I can show you the cool things that we have. Yes, there they are. Whoa. Oh, we're going to have some fun today. And then over here, watch this. Whoa, see how I make things appear? Hey, William, how are you? Hey, William, check it out. We're doing the ghost show today. Look how I make things show up. It's really cool. Whoa. And then over here. Whoa. Anyway, so we're talking about map sets and tile sets. Hi, Sarah. We're having a ghost show from the Ghost Library. All right. This is fun. Okay, so map sets. You know, you've heard me talk about them all the time, and I've shown you stuff really quick. Yes, today we are magical. It's the magic show. As you can see, I'm kind of floating here. Woo, look at that. Woo. My special cape. You guys have heard of the Cloak of Elven kind, right? So this is what probably happens with it. Yeah, anyway. All right, so let's talk about maps and tile sets and all kinds of cool stuff. So you guys have all seen the Warlock Tiles, and you've seen how cool they are in three-dimensional. I've never put one together for you, but they're here at the store. If you want to come by and take a look at what you can do with them, it's amazing, okay? The Warlock Tiles speak for themselves. They have so many accessories. You can add a kitchen to them. You got the town. You got the actual town square, the town guard, the tavern set, just a bunch of different things that you can add to it to make it really nice. But today I want to talk about the other tile sets that I talk about, the other map sets that I talk about. So right here, even though you can't see them, let me go into my bag of holding. Okay, right here, you see, this is the Pathfinder, the Den of Thieves. So if you wanted to sit there and do an adventure, let's say with a Thieves Guild involved or any kind of guild, this is a map set. It opens up. It's got two. It flips back and forth. As you can see, it's got two different map sets. On one side, you have the Thieves Guild here. And on the other, you have what it looks like from the outside. So when you first see it, encounter it, and then kind of like the two levels of the inside. All right. So, all right. Now, ready? Well, I'm going to make that one disappear. Ready? Wow. All right. So next, I want to talk about this one here. So this is the bigger island. Okay. This is a really neat one. Uh-oh. Yeah. This is the bigger island. Let's make that one disappear, right? Okay, so the bigger island, all right? And as you can see on the map, you have two different islands. It opens up really nice, and you can actually do adventures on either or. I think that I'm going to be using this one. Actually, I bought this one a couple of weeks ago. Got it for Christmas, I think. And I'm going to be doing some adventures on it. It's like a barren island and more like a jungle, tropical-themed island, which is really cool. Okay, let's make that one disappear. Look at that. Whoosh! It's gone! Anyway, all right, so here we go. I pulled another one out of the... Oh, hey, look at that, huh? I pulled another one out of the bag of holding there. This one is the House of Horror. Now, this is really neat. Now, the maps, the cool thing about maps are that we can use them for anything. Okay, so this is the House of Horrors. It's like an insane asylum. It's a 24 by 30 mat. But the cool thing is because it has two sides to it, two floors, you could actually use this for a mansion. I mean, let's say that your characters are coming to see a very wealthy merchant or a noble or something. This could easily double as their mansion, okay? Nice mansion, too. Okay, so there's that one. Let's put that in the bag of holding. Whoa! All right, let's pull this one out. Da, da, da. Now, this is called A Night to Remember, okay? Night of the Gray Death, I'm sorry. It's A Night to Remember, Night of the Gray Death. This has like a castle, a keep, okay, on one side with a catapult and that kind of thing. And then on the bottom, on the back side, it has like the second floor that you could use. It's really neat also. Kind of worn down. It shows that it's kind of underground. Wait, there we go. Worn down and kind of underground. Yes, sir. Okay, couple more that I want to talk about. These I left these for last. I really, really like these. So you know how sometimes you're attacking this is actually called Bandit, the Bandit Outpost. It's a two-sided map again. On the one side, and I've actually used this one. You can see it's got a green clearing, and then the outpost itself. This is really nice because you can use it as a way station for characters as they're traveling somewhere. Well, maybe there's a frontier outpost that's guarding that frontier. This may be a great base for them to use as a base camp and adventure from. Also, you can also use it as a part of an adventure. So let's say that, and what I've done before, the orcs are holed up in an encampment. Well, here's your encampment. They're in an old fort, a ruined fort, and you can just kind of take a marker and wipe out some of these walls and say those are broken down walls, or you can get some rubble and just put it on. It's a nice mat. It's 24 by 30, so it's a really nice mat also, okay? All right. And here's another one that I like. This one's really neat. This map here is the ghost town, and it's amazing. So once again, it's two-sided. On the one side, okay, you're going to have the one side of the town. So you can do so you come in from this side, and you have the one side, which would be like the top part here. Oh, let me bring it over here again. Okay, so you see it. Okay. Then you flip it, and you're on the other side. So it's kind of neat. It makes for a nice big town. You got to figure this is 24 by 30. So once you flip it to the other side, you've got yourself 24 by 60. Little town. But here's the cool thing about it. Just because it's a ghost town doesn't mean that it can't be used as a village or a small town or something that they encounter along the way. So every one of these maps can be repurposed for something else. And that's what I like about the flip mats. They're really cool that way. And they lend themselves to be more than just as they come. And now, this is not all the variety that's here. I just picked those because those are some of my favorites. They're some of the ones that they've got in lately that I've gotten my hands on, and I've actually used a couple. I haven't used them all, but I have them. It's nice to collect them and when they have them, to get them so that you can, when you need it, you have it. Okay? It's better to have and not need than to need and not have. Remember that. And of course, ta-da! Dice. Because dice, you can never have enough. Oh yeah, dice. All right, so let's talk about, we talked about the flip mats. Those are the flip mats that I'm always talking about. They come in a great variety. There's about another dozen and a half different ones out there. This is only like scratching the surface. There's like half a dozen of them. So there's about another dozen and a half out there. Okay, so now, these books, look, I'm going to pull this out of the bag holding. This is an awesome book. Now, this one's the sci-fi version of the Giant Book of Sci-Fi Battle Mats. Okay, there is a fantasy version of it. There's a cyberpunk version of it. There's a futuristic one. But it has all these maps. And what you do is you flip open to the set of maps that you want, and you use it. And they're double-sided. So when you open this up, it'll have a front and a back. And you can use whichever one. You can flip it over if you just want to use one side of a map. Okay? But this has, what's this got? 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 31. With one just being a plane. And what it is when I say 31, so it's got 30 themed ones. Okay, each one of those is as the book is opened, as it flips open. It's got a front side. Let me see if I can get a better. It's hard getting. Oh, here we go. Okay, so there we go. And then the bottom was just blank grid lines that you can draw on. And this is all dry erase, wet erase. It works great on it. 62 clean wipe clean battle mats. Antonio has this one because he runs a cool game on Friday nights that's sci-fi themed, and he uses that map. That board is really nice. It'll easily, when you open it up to its full length, and you can easily, put half a dozen characters and then the monsters or whatever. We did a bar scene at one of them, and it was really neat. I like it, and we have the fantasy one also. So, but now here's the thing. Because there's a lot of D&D going on here. They're usually out of that map boards. So that might be one that you might want to come in and say, hey, I need one, order me one, and they'll get it for you. Now, here's another cool thing. Taking it a little step further, this is an RPG map Okay, it's a nice material. I can't really show it to you. Fortunately, I can only just kind of show you pictures of it. But this is a wilderness encounter with tents laid out. You can kind of see it there, and it rolls out into it's 1-inch gridded. It's from WizKids, and I think I don't want to give you the wrong dimensions. Why am I doing it the hard way when I got my glasses? Right. Would I recommend wet erase or dry erase? That's actually a really good question. Some mat boards, I will tell you, and I'm going to show you one, don't do well with the wet erase or the dry erase. It just depends. You got to really read. My preference has always been the wet erase because you can wet it and it'll just come right up. The dry erase, if you forget to take it off, because it is a dry erase, will sometimes stain. And the wet erase could too, but the wet erase with the water comes off. So I like the wet erase. I've invested a lot. In fact, I think I have like a good dozen and a half wet erase. Now, I do have dry erase for people who like them because not so much for the mat boards, but for writing on clear plastic and that kind of thing, it's nice. But for the mat boards, I would use the wet erase because even if you forget about it, you put some water on it and boom, it's gone. And it's only water. Never, and that's a really good question because it leads me to this. Never use chemicals on your mat boards. Now, on the Pathfinder ones, wet or dry doesn't matter. I don't think you can really ruin that but on the other one, on this mat, because it's actually a cloth material, okay, I would definitely not use it. Now, this one, let me see something. I want to sit there and say that this may not be something you draw on because this is already painted and drawn on. You'd have to actually go on the product page and look at it. I'm not going to tell you one way or the other. To me, I would not write on this one. The one that I was going to tell you about is this here. Ta-da! This is a big, well, you can't see it, but let me see if you can see it? Okay, there it is. All right. This is another mat board. This is actually a rollout. It's a cloth material. It's really nice. I have one at home. They're really cool. And it comes gridded in squares. And it comes gridded in hexes for outdoor adventures. Okay, and that's the difference. People have always asked, well, why the two different? Well, the hexes are to represent outdoors. That's your true cloak of invisibility. Yeah, look, see. John has left the building. No, I'm right here. Ha ha. Like that, huh? Hello, my love. I am a wizard. Watch. Invisibility. Reappear. Ha ha. Anyway, we're having way too much fun already. Now, Sarah, on this one, this is something Sarah asked. On this mat board, I would definitely just use dry erase. Wet erase. I have used dry erase on some of these and forgotten, thinking, oh, I'll just leave these. It's scary how good that works. Yeah, it is, isn't it? I think I'm going to keep this with me. So anytime I want to just end the show, it's like, show's over. I love it. Anyway, so I would definitely use wet erase because like I said, I have left dry erase on here and it tried to get it out and it stained it. I don't know if it's because maybe dry erase is not suggested for these. I also actually, and Sarah brought me something that was really cool. She used to work at a school in St. Thomas, and she brought me a box of dry erase crayons, which are the coolest things. And they're natural because think about it. We loved crayons as kids, and well, I still love them. I don't care what anybody says. But anyway, so I use those, and they are awesome. Now, I will say, if you leave them on there for a while, they're a little tough to get off, but they'll come off and it won't stain. Okay, because I've done that I've done on both. And so that's the big mat. These mats come in. Now, this one is I want to say this is the 24 by 36, right? And it's reversible. Yeah. Okay. Now, they have smaller ones and they have bigger ones. You can actually come in, just tell Brendan, hey, I want one of the bigger ones. He'll show you. He'll order it for you. He'll get you. Just like anybody here will help you out with that. Anytime you're looking for something and they don't have it because it's sold out or maybe they just didn't get it restocked, they'll get it. Trust me, they will get it. It may give them time. And as long as you have time and you're not in a hurry, if you don't need it today kind of thing, they'll get it for you. Trust me. Been there, done that. Okay, now, so now I want to talk about, let me go in my magic bag. All right, ta-da! You like that, huh? Watch. And it's gone. In the bag. And then I do my, whoa! Look at that. Cool, right? So these are the Dungeons and Dragons dungeon tiles. They were remade. They're really nice. Oh, there they are. It keeps disappearing. I got to quit doing that. All right, here we go. And these are the dungeon tiles. Now, this is the city. So here, everything in here lets you construct a city. You lay out the tiles, a town, a city, a small village, as the case may be. And the adventurers can start here. And they're nice. They go together really well with each other and with the other sets. They're all 1-inch grid. They're nice and sturdy. You can use, I think on these, you have to, I suggest using wet erase, not so much the dry erase, because everything is, you got to understand the reason that these tiles and these mat boards and all that allow themselves to be reused is because they have a coating on them. There's a coating on them. And I like using the water because I found out something else about the dry stuff. If you leave it on there, and even with the crayons, you got to take it off immediately. Although I have, like I said, left it on there. But if you notice, I noticed that after, especially on the reversible mega mats, on the mega mats, when you rub hard to get stuff off, you seem to take some of that layers off eventually. So that's one reason, Sarah, that question was awesome, is that wet erase. You know, it's on there. You get a piece of a paper towel or something and wet, and boom, it comes off, and there it is. There's no rubbing it. And they've seen me at home when I do that. And I look at the mat, and I'm like, wow, what's that with that? You know, so a couple of them have been ruined where I've turned them into permanent structures of some kind, and there you go. It's never a loss, okay? Never, never, never think that these are losses. You can always build a permanent structure on it. I have a castle from one of my previous characters' games, and now I just use the castle for whatever I need it for. But anyway, back to the tiles. So this is the city set. They're amazing. There's a lot of them in there. It has 16 double-sided. So it's like having 32. They're double-sided. On one side, like I know that one of them for a fact has a small little inn. Is really cool. And on the other side, it's a castle tower. So everything has a dual purpose. Now, this leads me, let me put that back in the box. Back in the bag. Okay. Now, that one leads me to, okay, so they've left the city. What now? Bum, bum, bum. We're going to go into the wilderness. And these are the wilderness tiles. Okay. And these also have 16 reversible tiles. Okay. Oh, there we go. This way. Here we go. Yeah. You can have a little campground. You can set up a campground. There's little pools of water, rivers, and things like that. It's very nice. I like it. I enjoy them. I have 2 sets of the wilderness ones because these are some. At one point, oh, you can't really see it that well. Doggone it. Let me see. Right there. Okay, well, you know what? There it is. Are we going to be using any of those for our game next Sunday? Well, more than likely, Danny, we're going to start out. We may use the city tiles because we're going to go back. You know, we're going to be using the actually, you know what? Not at first. I'm going to say no. Not because they're not useful, but because since I'm going to be starting you in the city, the town of Phandelver, we're going to go back to that. It comes with the full map, color map in that box set of the village. It's nice to envision that. That's the only time that I really don't use the tiles, but we will be once we start going out into the wilderness, once we start going out into the dungeons and that kind of thing. But we won't be using the city set yet. Okay. So you'll actually see the full map of Phandelver and the surrounding area because that's a gorgeous map. And I love when I can get my hands on full color and that represents something. Oh, that's the best because you actually see where you're going. So it allows, it's just really neat. It's a great visual. Okay. So in the wilderness, you know, you got forest, you have, there's actually a bridge that you can construct. There's a lot you can do with this set. I have 2 because I like the layout. You know, forests are usually big. Woods you can make them as small or as big as you want. But with 2 sets, I can use the one side and then put the little river out that comes in it and put the bridge there in case I want to have like a bridge crossing battle. You know, that's always neat. Characters over here, they got to get over there. But oh my gosh, the orcs are there. They're waiting in ambush. You know, they send out a couple goblins to ask for toll. The players go, Mox Nix, no way, Jose. They start about it, and here come the orcs in the ambush. Just an idea. Not saying that I'm going to do that. Not saying that I have done that. Well, maybe I have. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. So, wilderness set. Very cool. On the way to the the dungeon. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. We now have the dungeon tiles. And here's the cool part about all this. All of it goes together. They all have 1-inch squares that just go together. So technically, you could have, watch this, you could have a city that has a cusp of woods with a magical lake that leads down to a dungeon. Got it? Use all three together in conjunction. It'll work out beautifully. It's awesome. It's great. So that's one way of doing it, okay? That's one way of using these guys all together. Or you could, you know, if you got the area, you can lay down the city, right? Put the wilderness around it because let's say it's a village. So you only need a lot. Maybe let's say out of the 16 tiles, you might need, let's say, 8 of them. So you lay 8 out of them out, the buildings that you want. Boom, boom, boom. Then you surround it with the 16 wilderness, or if you're like me, the 32 wilderness. And then, of course, you go to the town, you find out, well, yeah, there's something going on. We're not sure. The church has been taken over by ghosts, whatever. The undead seem to be roaming. There's a crypt underneath. Well, there you go. Now you've used all 3 tile sets again. So you can use them individually, or you can combine them together. The possibilities are endless. Now, last but not least, I want to talk about, this is another set of tiles. It's not tiles, excuse me, mat boards. These you can also get, and they are double-sided, all right, just like those. But these are just plain terrain. Look, green on green, that's magic, baby. Have you ever seen green show up on a green screen? That's right, that's John Magic. Woohoo! Look at that, green on green. All right, and then on the flip side, we have a stone. We have stone. So this could be your city streets here, and this could be your forest. See that? Green on green. Remember, you saw it first here in John Dungeon Corner, where green actually showed up on green. Oh, yeah. All right. So, with that being said, I'm back. See, it is magic. We're having way too much fun with this. Okay. Anyway, all right. So I've shown you a lot of different tile sets, some different maps and map sets and mats. That's what I want to say. Mat, M-A-T, mat. That you can use. Now, and here's something that I do. If I want to use tiles, but I want to put them all together. I can take the tile set, which is cool because it has little buildings or whatever you want to do with like the little tents, and you can lay out the mat, like the green mat. And then on top of it, you can take the wilderness tiles and show what's out there. Okay, so this is a wooded area over here, and right here there's a campsite. I'm late. Don't kill my character. Oh, Jason. Welcome, Jason. I won't kill your character this time. I'll give you a pass. You missed out on all the cool tile sets, but that's okay. It's all right. But the neat thing is that a lot of these are usable together. So, like I said, you lay down the mat, then take the tiles and put them to represent whatever it is you want to represent. Like with the wilderness tile, I could represent a kobold encampment or goblin encampment that's infringing on the woodsman's forest where they get their wood, or perhaps the elves have hired the characters to go ferret out this encampment of goblins. You know, so you have the green mat down, which shows the forest, and then you put all the trees out and their encampment, and there you have it. And, you can spruce that up with 3-dimensional stuff. I have camp sets now that are really cool and I use. So that's one way of doing it. And don't forget, dun, 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 dice. Dice are your friend, and you can never have enough of them. All right. I love dice. Can you tell? All right. So the tiles are nice. They're all interchangeable, and they work well together. The map boards, I said, like this one. Bah, bah, bah. See, I just make things disappear. Whoosh. Are flipped. They flip from one side to the other. The ghost town is wonderful because you can use both sides as parts of the town. The Thieves Guild, of course, has an above ground, underground kind of area. The 2 islands are different. You have a barren island and then the actual wooded island with a few woods here and there. The premium RPG map boards, as like I showed you, this one is like of a encampment. Oh, I'm sorry. This is a throne room map. This has a throne room map here, but they come in different varieties. It just depends on what's in at the time. And if you see one that you like, as I said, don't hesitate to ask these guys. They love to help you. I can tell you that from experience that they love helping. All right. But so it's time for me to cast a spell. Watch. This is my disappearance spell. Right? Ready? Invisibility. Ha! I'm back. I love it. That is so cool. I'm gonna keep this mat with me forever. It's gonna be my new toy. Haha! Did you see that, Jason? Poof! I disappeared just like that. But anyway, I'm gonna put this back in my bag of holding. Okay, there we go. Back in the bag of holding. So this is a little different. Like I said, these are nice. They're nice and portable. I like these. The giant book of battle mats. This is the sci-fi version. As I said, there's a fantasy version. There's a futuristic version with ships and all kinds of stuff. They come with mat boards that you use either single or flip the book open. And what you see there is what you'll get. It turns out to be, let me see. Once you open this up, I'm going to say, I want to take a guess. All right, let me count the squares. 2, 4, 6, 8. So it's probably about 12 to 16. So it's probably about anywhere from 2 feet to 2.5 feet, 24 to 30 squares across and down. Okay, when you open this up. So it turns out to be really nice. Like I said, Antonio used one for a sci-fi game, and it was awesome. It was really neat. It let us do the adventure. And they come in such a great variety. The fantasy one comes with caverns and dungeons. It has lava. It has fields. It has a tavern in it. So it's a book that you can carry around with you. And as long as you know what you're looking, you can actually curtail your adventure to what you have in your map book, and you don't have to carry around a lot of mats, which is what I like. If I want to do something simple, even if I just want to use like a tavern in there, boom, I just open up. There it is. This is the tavern, and you always have your generic taverns in the small little towns. In one town, in fact, the tavern is the one spot. It is the spot where everybody goes. It's the biggest building. Surprise, surprise. It's bigger than the church, which says a lot about the town. Anyway, that's neither there. But it gives you something. There's also taverns in these mats, the Pathfinder mats. I use them. I think they have, I want to say that in that size, 24 by 30, there's about a half a dozen of them because I have them all. Then there's one that's really nice, the bigger tavern map. When you flip it over, it's 2 different taverns. There's a waterside tavern. There's an underground tavern. So there's a lot of variety, even within the same genre of like, taverns. Well, there's like 6, 7 different map boards. And when you flip them, they're all different kinds. There's a seedy tavern. There's one tavern that it's like it's called the pub crawl. So if you can just imagine that, if you've ever go to, poof, time for the arena. Horns play. Exactly, Jason. Jason knows. No, man. They had to fight in the arena, so that was really cool. So anyway, that's about all I got today. Now, since William was on here, I want to remind everybody that the new William, remind me of the name. I don't want to butcher it. I don't want to sit there and call it wrong. Are you still with us? Hey, Danny, if you're still with us, what is the name of the new book coming out, the new comic book series? Help me out. Anybody? Somebody? Anyone? No? Okay. Well, there's a new comic book series coming out. from William, and it's going to be pretty amazing. It's based on adventuring in his world, and it's going to be really cool. I can't wait for it. And I'll probably grab every cover there is because that's just the way I am. Plus, the covers are really cool. I've shown you the 47 Furious Tales covers. I love those. So I'm really looking forward to that. Danny, you not with us anymore? Okay, I think Danny ran off. All right. So unless anybody has a question, real quick, I'm going to wrap it up by saying, these are great accessories. You don't need them all. You can buy them over time. They're not super expensive. The mat boards, they're $14.99. And like I said, depending on which one you get. No, and by the way, I forgot to say this, but just like you see the green one here, the green, these Pathfinder mat boards also come in regular like green. They come in the gray for stone, and they're flippable. They're flippable, and then there's larger ones that you can use. So they're not just always have text. They're not always textured or themed. There's just plain ones that you can just use and draw on and write whatever. All right. So hopefully I've answered questions. Hopefully I've answered questions that you might think of later. And anyway, so until next time, may the roll rise up to meet your feet, and may your adventures always be successful. Oh, look, a question. How much wood would a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood? Well, it depends on how strong he is first. Because chucking wood, I have seen it at the, what was those? The Irish games, what are those called? Where they throw logs. So it depends on how much you can bench press, probably. Oh, plus your dex. Yes. 12 plus your dex. That's a good answer, Jason. Good answer. There it is. That's why I love you guys on the stream. You got answers for everything. Maybe that'll be the right answer, but doggone it, it's an answer. And that's what matters. That someone's paying attention. All right. So everybody, it was a pleasure. Thank you for being here. And I will see you, if not on Wednesday, if not on Sunday, next Friday for John's Dungeon Corner here at the Collective in sunny Altamont Springs, Florida. See you then.